What's up, beautiful people? DH here. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I felt really called to, as I've grounded here in Costa Rica. I've been traveling in the United States for the last 3.5 weeks, and I'm just now able to. I posted something today about breathe. It's like my reminder. This shirt always reminds me not just to like wear a shirt that says breathe, but like, what do you do when you breathe? You stop, you center, you breathe. Just allows you to kind of clear, tranquilo. But I wanted to do a video about expansion. And as I went for 3.5 weeks back to my homeland, my hometown, around family, it allowed me to really encompass and embody this last year and a half. It really came full circle almost. I was able to go there and see familiar faces and friends and go to the same restaurants, places that I loved, and almost like check back into a previous life, right? And which was all beautiful. And now that I've come here, I feel so expanded. I feel so ready. And I wanted to do this video now because as we think about, we're coming to a close of a calendar year, right? And time is not linear. We think it is, but at least if we're going to play the game, right, as the human, the calendar year is ending. And what do we typically do towards the end of the year? We start building anticipation for the following year, whether it's New Year's resolutions or whether it's things that we want to improve or new hobbies that we want to put a little bit more passion into, answer the call somewhat to certain things that have been within us. They've been urging us. So this is a perfect opportunity so we can prepare for that happening, and we're already naturally doing it, right? We had the seasonal events and like the energy of society creating the push towards the end of the year with like the holiday and the New Year's Eve and a celebration of a culmination of a previous year that you've probably had ups and downs and crazy experiences that have helped you expand into your current reality. And I wanted to get on here and speak on like what leads to this expansion, right? And as I look at my personal journey, what leads me to my individual, spiritual, personal, physical expansion is the intention that I put towards things. And the intention, I wrote this down, intention leads to expansion. And what are your intentions, right? What are you intentional about? Not just like someone's telling you have to do X, Y, Z things, but what are we truly intentional about? I was doing a workout this morning and it got me onto I want to be physically strong. I believe it's my duty and obligation as a human with this vessel that God gifted me with to make it strong. And our perspective on what strong is can be different. Mine has evolved, right? I was very much involved with CrossFit four times a week and doing competitions when I could. And I was physically strong, but now my physical strength, and I'm not saying I did this for through CrossFit or to get big on the outside, but I was doing it to gain weight and gain muscle and to feel that strength. And now I'm doing it with an intention of self-love. I'm doing it with an intention that I'm just loving my body and this is my obligation. I'm not doing it because the fear of being too skinny, the fear of not being fit or attractive. I was just smiling in my workout today like, man, I feel really good just doing a quick workout, loving my body, testing my strength. And it got me thinking of like, well, what is our intention behind any type of physical activity or physical work? And then it can be honestly not just physical, it could be spiritual, emotional, mental, like the intention that we put behind it, right? And so anyway, my workout was today based on self-love, and I think that all of us, as we look at physical activity, we were gifted this body. Now, regardless of how old or how young we are, we need to love the body that we have in this moment and always know in our heart that it can feel as great as we want it to feel. And as long as we're looking through the lens of love and looking at our body with the lens of love, it's all connected, right? It's all connected. And knowing that we can't build up 15 years of physical activity into today. We can't have an expectation of that. We just have to know that in this day, do I have an intention to get moving and get active and to work on some level of physical strength? And I'll share an example. I was spending time with Alicia's grandma, and she gets around. I think she's 75, and I think she won't care. She probably won't even watch this, but she gets around. She's moving around a lot, and she has pretty good squat form. I'm always looking at squat form, getting stuff from the bottom of the shelves. This is important stuff. You can't be rolling that back. That's bad. And when you're 75, you need to do everything crisp, or you'll end up having more ailments because our body is in a more constricted state. So anyways, I was just encouraging her to like, that she has a lot of muscle in her lower body, in her legs or glutes or hamstrings. And it's like, sometimes maybe just loosening it up, giving it a little bit of rub, a little bit of shake to help get some fluidity in her joints and stuff like that. It's just expansion, right? It's just going from constriction or restriction or tightness to releasing, letting go the tension, allowing flow, opening flow. Flow doesn't have an age, right? Our inner self has no age. So it's like, but the story we may tell ourselves, and this is what me and Grams were talking about, is like, there's a story that I am old. My joints are sore. I've had multiple injuries. I've had multiple experiences that are contributing to why my knee isn't feeling good. So we can tell ourselves that story all the time, and it will be your truth. Or you can start sending love and doing some things that may energetically improve how that knee feels. It may end up being more up here than in here. And so that's the physical, right? We all control that. Own it today. Forget what you could have done or what you should have done in your past to prevent you from either feeling or looking or whatever the way you are now. Start in this moment as we prepare for a new calendar year. Play the game. Use the calendar as some fun and use it to propel yourself with intention as you create intention in all things that you do. This might be shaky, but I'm looking at these books that are on my desk, and this is kind of like my to-do list, right? I like to read because, as anybody knows me here, it's hard to get me to sit still. And what I learned when I moved to Costa Rica is there was less to go do and more to go do in here. And so I like books because they allow me to sit and get centered. And all those is activators to expand my inner self, to remember who I am. So anyways, this is just a quick view of the books that I'm reading. This is what I look at. And as you expand the content of what you're putting into yourself, from not just books, but from wherever you're getting content, it's going to help you expand and you won't go backwards. So this is kind of a little bit of what I'm reading. Maybe we can see it, maybe we can't, and I'll try to read through it. But Autobiography of a Yogi, Matrix Energetics, like just basically energy healing. Love is the Answer, Invisible Acts of Power, Choices that Create Miracles, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, The Tao of Health, Sex, and Longevity, Becoming Supernatural, and The Essential Wayne Dyer Collection. I'm kind of just tapping on a bunch of different things that I feel aligned to. And then underneath that is some crystals, just bringing the energy up and the vibe up in my room and just having a clear space. So nonetheless, this is putting myself in an environment for my most benevolent self, my highest version of myself. And as we prepare for 2020, it's a pretty monumental year. If we can allow our mind's eye to expand past the physical reality that we know of, like it's 2020 and there's presidents and government and all these things, and we can kind of go beyond that and start looking a little bit more like, why are we here? Like, why am I here? Like, what's my purpose? Am I really just this? Is this really? And so 2020 is going to be an awakener. It's going to be 2019 was a clearing. And this isn't even my world that I live in, but I'm just experiencing it. But from an energy and universe and all that stuff, this is new. But 2019, all those things told me the truth, in the sense of like, this is a clearing out year, clearing density. I've been talking about this for so long now. This whole year is clearing density. And I use the analogy of clearing out the junk drawer in your home or your garage or your closet or the huge collection of books and stuff that you're never gonna dive into, to come to a space of tranquility and peace and openness, like almost like a clean sheet of paper or a clean canvas to create your own magical art. So look at 2020 as your clean piece of artwork, and we have the ability to create it. And it starts with everything that we put our intention in will create that expansion. So be intentional with what we choose. Be intentional with the places that we go. Be intentional of the conversations. Be intentional with the people that we spend our time with. Be intentional of the content that we share to the universe. If we have social media to share content, what are we sharing? What's the intention behind us sharing something? Is it through love? Is it through who we are? Sharing more of our truth, right? Our main obligation is just to live our truth and whatever comes from that. And when we ask ourselves, am I showing my truth? Am I living my truth? Am I embodying my truth? Not just behind closed doors or when I'm meditating on a rock or when I'm with my partner or when I'm with my kids. Does the world know who I am? What I'm here to share? The gifts that I came here to embody. And so as we close out 2019, know that there's still some clearing. You know, I hear from the friends that I know of 1111, the gateway, and there's all these powerful things coming through it. And so you will start hearing about some of these things if you're not quite there. I wasn't there. You know, I'm just learning about some of these things that are beyond my level of comprehension of what I knew. And over the last 12 months, I've put a lot of work in so I can even absorb new content. I'm just absorbing new content. I want to grow and expand personally. And so, and spiritually, and it's happening. So think of expansion, think of your intentions, think of the intentions that you create are not so much the same intentions that you've always had that may be aligned with like career, family, physical. Think of some of your intentions beyond that, spiritual, energetically, emotionally, you know, and what I've noticed is as you focus on those, the other ones kind of come in, but it's waiting. It being the energy, our soul, it's waiting for that level of expansion and its intention. So anyway, I love you guys. I love doing these videos. I just love sharing. And whether it's 0 people that watch them or enjoy them, or if it's many, it doesn't really matter. But this is something that I'm meant to share as a gift to the world. And if you know anybody that can find value in any of these messages, please to share them. This isn't to gain anything other than my heart was called to create a video. I'll probably start doing some live videos too, just because I really want to focus on people being in their naked truth, being in their nakedness. And we know the term naked from our physical body. And when we're physically naked, we're just kind of there. Some of us are like, boom, I feel strong and powerful when I'm naked, even if it's by yourself. Some people feel strong and powerful, and some people feel like they still need to hide. Some people will be in their room with all the curtains closed and the door locked, and they'll be naked, and they just don't feel free. They don't feel free in their body. And so when we talk about being naked, use that physical reality into our outward reality of what we're truly sharing from our heart. And I think we're going there. And there's a lot of things that I'm here to share that have been coming up. And if they don't come out, they just become dense and they weigh me down. And it may be happening to many people out there. You may be weighed down with things and density. So I definitely want to attack some of that and help clear it as we come towards the new year. And 2020 is a beautiful opportunity for us to continue our journey, living our truth through love and expansion. And I'm excited for the people that are on this journey with me. So peace, love, have an awesome weekend.